Greetings in love and kindness, family. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, the one and only Conscious Self Healthcare educator and host of the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation radio show. Every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Community, this is your time to share your wellness stories and how you move from disease care to conscious self healthcare. I want to hear your story. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation each Wednesday. Call in and share how you shift out of chronic disease care stress. Right here on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency. This is Dr. K, and I am looking forward to our conversation. So call in and share. Health is consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. Come on, family. It's time to rock the world with the new frontier of conscious self-healthcare, while I share my wellness story with you right here on InnerLightRadio.com, the healing frequency. Taking that deep, deep breath. Are you taking that deep, deep breath? Are you set back relaxing? Are you tuned into yourself? Thank you for tuning into me. Why I share my wellness journey with you and how to make conscious self-healthcare moves. Got a little late start, so I want you to hold this beat in mind as we get ready to start the show. 10/19/2019. Here we go. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this broadcast with a friend. How you doing, family? How was your week? You didn't give your power away to anyone, did you? I know we beyond that, but sometimes we can slip and let that out real quick. And then we got to turn around and calm ourselves down and not go down that rabbit hole anymore. Because we ain't giving our power to nobody. No person, no thing, no entity whatsoever. Because we are definitely in control. Whew, even when you don't think so. Take that deep, deep breath. The body always knows what it's doing. We just got to step up to it with our own consciousness. Get it into alignment, and then we will definitely know. How you doing, family? I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks. I am the one and only conscious self-healthcare educator, helping you to understand what your body symptoms are trying to tell you. They're telling you. They're really not trying to tell you. They want you to listen and make those right choices. So this information will rejuvenate your thoughts to live a stress and disease-free life. When you sit back and recognize what's going on and don't give it all of your power, and definitely don't give no power to no disease names, we're thankful because there's cellular malfunctions telling you what's going on in the body somewhere. We don't get upset by their names because life with conscious self-healthcare moves. Mental observation view is essential for self-success. And I have to take those deep, deep breaths every day. Same way you was listening to that comforting music while things got together so I could come on the radio and share with you today. I make those conscious self-healthcare moves and don't give my power to anything. So how can I help? That's health education for longevity and peace. Health education for longevity and peace with no stress whatsoever, because you're going to slay your healthcare fears. That false education accepted as reality, that false evidence appearing so real. You know what? You got to rise. Ascension. With ascension, you rise. I'm telling you, when you take a deep breath, it brings everything back in balance, even when you don't want to. I have to laugh sometimes when you tell children, take a deep breath, and they know they start feeling good, and then they get getting like that, and then you see the little smile coming into their aura, because they're really trying to stay upset, and they really don't want to, because he thinks sometimes being upset and talking that way gets people to do things differently. But I want to tell you something, family. You want to stay in control. You want to play your game. You don't want to shift your game from nobody else's game. You got to stay in the flow of things. So much is going on to take you out of touch with who you are and make you think other things and want to have other thoughts so you can be in alignment with other people, what you think is appropriate. But you don't want to do that. You know why you don't want to do that? Because you practice self-love. You live self-love, self-care, self-respect. You know your self-worth. You don't have to worry about it self-identifying. You know who you are and whose you are. So we breathe here. We sit back and we honor ourselves. We tune into ourselves. We check our lists and make sure we're doing it all right. We got it down pat. You got it down pat, family. You wake up in the morning, you start your day, be it you're working somewhere or you're working with somebody else or you're working at home and you're keeping in control. You're not letting things what go on in the world get to you. You're knowledgeable about a lot of things and you know what's happening. But you know the real deep down soul of things is happening. And you know how to stay in control. You don't give your power to nobody. And you know why you don't give your power to nobody. You're sitting back. You're taking a deep breath. Feel this breath moving up your body from the tip of your toes to the top of your head. Now release. And listen here. As we take this universal love ride, because that's right, family, you're on the friendship train. I've been on this train ride with Harriet Tubman for a long time. And you know what I'm talking about? She'll look at you and don't give her power to nobody. She feel your energy. And I feel your energy. I know what's going on. And that's why I have moved with ebb and ebb and flow with ease. And I'm telling you can do it too. Don't get into that reactive state and get your power away to things. People know how to work you. Definitely the system. Yeah, that good old system. Racism comes in all forms. It don't come from just white supremacy. I keep telling y'all that black supremacy out there too. You gotta look out. 'Cause sometimes people take a hold of bad habits, think they're good habits, and think if somebody else is doing, they can get away with it too. That's why you gotta stay in charge. You gotta stay in control. Because we know life is a state of consciousness. So what state of consciousness are you putting yourself into? You know we do here. We talk about love, the flow of love. Even when you say the words, you feel good when you attach it to correctness of energy. Because it's the power that brings my and your entire life together. It heals, renews, restores, and empowers us with divine energy and life. Taking that deep breath. I am love in action in everything that I do. That's why I catch myself and don't say things and don't react real fast all the time when people do things, you know, because that's what love and action do. It flows with ease. I am a master of positive self-expression. And so are you. And that's why we are here to be givers and receivers of love, the power of love. When you love yourself with that self-love and that self-care and that self-respect, I'm trying to tell you something. It shifts everything. Because you can't give your power to none of that at all. So family, thought I'd ask you again this day. I haven't asked you this question in a long time, even though you know you're supposed to have it as part of your questions. Are you creating your life from a man-made mindset of human consciousness? Are you creating your life from a man-made mindset of human consciousness? Dr. K, Karen, what does that mean? Khadijah, what are you saying? Are you creating your life from a man-made mindset of human consciousness? Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. And then sit back and relax and listen to yourself tell you what that really means, what questions are trying to come up so you can hear, so you can answer, so you can be in control. It's a frequency of vibration. It's a frequency of love. So what are the emotions, beliefs, and values involved with stopping you from being healthy, happy, and loving? Don't be talking about what he said, what she said, what he did, what they did. None of that. You recognize it. You don't hold on to it. You know how to move beyond it. Yeah, and that new question I've been telling you to ask yourself. What instructions am I giving my subconscious mind? Am I keep putting new instructions down in there and don't know what they are? You're not in alignment with what you're saying. You got to look at what you're doing and what you're thinking. And in that high state, you got to put it all in balance. You got to get the right perspective to get the right results. When your perspective is not clear, your behavior becomes inconsistent. So are you being inconsistent with anybody? Are you being inconsistent with anything? Hey, did you make up your mind and say, I'm going to do it this way, and then you turn around and flip, and you flip, and you flip, and you keep flipping? You got to stop flipping. You got to stop flipping. You got to know what you're saying and know what you're doing. Definitely when you say you know yourself. So do you really, really, truly know yourself? Because if you do, nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except your fears. Nothing controls you except your belief. And nothing heals you except your consciousness. That's why we say life is a state of consciousness here. So what state are you putting yourself into? You got to understand that. And you can shift yourself right then, right there, that moment. Flip things around. Oh, what you talking about? What you just did? I just released that and let it go. We're not even going to deal with that no more. We're going to talk about it. No, we ain't got to talk about it. You got it. Let them have it. You got it. I don't move beyond that. We don't have to have a balance on everything, but it's all cool. It's okay. It's all right, because a lot of people is in a fluctuating state right now with what's been going on. And every time they think they see an injustice that has happened to a black person, they get all filtered and frustrated when somebody black don't go along with them. And they try to take their black card from them. I got a message about that today, too, about trying to take somebody's black card away from them. How did that sound anyway? Taking somebody's black card away from them. The only way they can have a black card is they was of another color, and then they support the black people, and then you gave them a black card like they used to do. Who did they do that to? But it's that Bill Clinton. They gave him a black card, and they found out what he was doing and how he really was, and they wanted to take his card away. Well, you can take their card away because they ain't got that melanin skin. But when somebody got that melanin skin and they don't agree with you, you can't take their black card away. You can't talk to them. People got a right to be where they are, to think what they are, and do what they do, long as they ain't bringing no harm to you. Because anytime they bring harm to someone else, it only comes back to them. Before you can create anything for anybody else, you create it for yourself. So once again, what instructions am I giving my subconscious mind? And we're doing it all the time. All the time. You got to sit back and think about it. Take those deep breaths throughout the day, throughout the week. Know what's going on and who is in charge. You see, family, community, and friends, it's all about the body. The human body, the energetic body, the holographic body, however you want to put it. Your body will never lie to you. That's for sure. Your body will never, ever lie to you. However, your mind will, and what you think about what's going on and what you're choosing to have that thought based on, that will get you into a state. And then you think your body's lying to you. But your body's not lying to you. It's telling you what's going on. And that's why I say when you step up to quantum health and healing, step up to quantum HealthCare, become your own wellness doctor, understand anatomy and physiology, understand what's going on with the new field of quantum health and healing. Oh, man, you are in more control than the daggone doctors and their test results. Anybody's results. You'll know what's truly going on in your life and what's happening with your body. And that's why I can say what I say and do what I do, because I give myself that power. You have the right to teach yourself and learn anything you want. And you ain't got to go to a certain school that's supposed to be the clout of all the hot schools or whatever. And you got the master in this because you went to this institution and that institution. Let me tell you something about learning. You can learn anything you want from anywhere you want when you get that material. Okay? And somebody out there might even give you some paperwork on it. And then somebody going to say, well, that ain't real because you got it over there and you ain't get it over here. Live your life to the truth of what you are and who you know and what you say. You can't be worried about none of that stuff out there. As long as you know what you're doing, it's for the benefit of yourself and humankind alike. So I'm going to remind you of what our good friend said. You are the master of your thoughts and mind. You tell your mind what to think. You tell your feelings what to feel. You tell your body how to react. Because you are the master of your mind, and you are the master of your feelings, and you are the master of your thoughts. I'm telling you something. People sit back and plot and plan and think they can get you, but you got to know what to do with that smile. You must tell your human holographic image what to do and how to act and how to talk. And that's why they're coming up with all these hologram movies and stuff like that, because this is how you're supposed to treat yourself in this world. Yeah, the energetic vibration of you is walking around talking for you. And you got to stay in control of it and not give your power away. And not get caught up in the disease thinking thoughts. And know that you're going to create cellular malfunctions. That's what a human body does. It creates cellular malfunctions. And they can be cellular malfunctions, bring about a great stress in your life. And if that happens to you, you got to know how to flip it around and turn it around and say, okay, this is what I need to do now. Like what Karen, Khadijah, Davis-Foulks is doing with this stroke, almost getting close to 2 years now. And you really can't tell, but I can tell because I see the fluid in my body. You know, I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I took a total assessment of myself, and I've been seeing what's been going on. And I've been looking over those results and seeing what's happening. And the other day when I was walking in the park over at the community park, I had a little video taken. I did a little bit of running. I did a little bit of walking, moving my arms and showing how things are working well, how I didn't go down that rabbit hole. But I also noticed all the excess fluid that's still there, so much fluid in the body, you know, and I got a little bit down in my little feelings. And I said, girl, you got to be out your mind because you still see fluid. You got to let that stuff go because you're doing what you need to do. You are way ahead of other people. You are moving. You're moving your arms. You're running. You're walking. You got everything under control. So you still a little bit bloated. So you look like you got a lot of weight on you. It's okay. You know what that is, and you know it's going to move past. Take your time and keep doing it right. And don't try to rush things, people. When you do self-healing, conscious self-healthcare healing for yourself, you can't rush things. You got to move with the body, with the flow, as long as you know what you're doing, because it takes time to make those adjustments. And then sometimes things get back in alignment. It happened just like that with the snap of the finger. I'll just say 2 snaps up and thumb up. You know how it go. You got to sit back and you got to relax. And you got to stay tuned into yourself. So I got a special video that I want you to hear today that's going to make you really, 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 really make some shifts in your life when you listen to this video. It's from Bruce Lipton. You know, I'm telling you something. He was the one that really blew the lid off of all that kind of thinking about diseases and test results and what they find. Then put that book out about the biology of belief and all his other books that came after that. And then just the research as a cell biologist and how he's talking to you about cells and what's going on. And right now in the community, everybody's running around talking about telomeres and how you need to take all these different kind of vitamins and things like that. And Karen keeps telling you that you can create anything you want that you need just by your states of consciousness. You can give it to your body. That's the real reality of things. Okay? So I was so pleased when Bruce Lipton recently put out this video explaining about telomeres and the power of self-acceptance, of self-knowledge, self-belief. And, you know, even though we got to say belief, I keep telling people, you know, that old saying, because somebody comes to me, you're talking about belief, but believe you can, believe you can't. Either way, you're right. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. Believe you can, believe you can't. Either way, you're right. But when you have power of knowledge of self, the body, biochemistry, knowing what's going on, quantum health and healing with the physics of understanding how things were brought to light, you have that power. And you can do the things that you need to do. Drug-free, worry-free, stress-free, medical doctor-free, surgeries-free. I'm telling you, you can do this. You just got to hold on to that inner wealth. You got to feel it. You got to allow yourself to accept the feelings of truth. We all get these feelings. They call it intuition. Call it what you may. Some of us has the gift that we can see the vibrations, the frequencies in people and know what's going on. And I see it all the time. I just sit back and don't say nothing to people. Not at all, but it just tells me how to deal with them. And most of the times, I ain't got to be in your presence. I hear it through the frequencies of the waves of the vibration when I'm talking to you. And if I'm not talking to you and I'm in your presence, I still can feel it and know what's going on. So, and we all got that, but we just got to want to tap into it. To support others making those conscious self-healthcare moves, family. So are you breathing? Did you sit back and think about it? Did you invite somebody to listen to last week's show? The show before that show? The show before that show? And the show before that show, all the shows that help you stay in tune, to get in tune, to step up to quantum health and healing, to recognize how you can find out what's going on with your body, your human body feel for yourself, match it up what's going on with the actual organ systems in the body, and knowing the power of that one great system that we talk about all the time. And that's why we take these deep, deep breaths, because we want to help support that lymphatic system, that purification system throughout the body. They may want to say they just found out about the lymphatic vessels in the brain and all that, but they've been there for umpteen years. They know about it. My brother was born with water on the brain. They were doing tests way back then when he was born. So they know what they're doing. They may tell you that, oh, we just got a major discovery. We just found out that this is going on. No, they've been known. And now somebody else has been telling people. So then they got to put it out and let you know what's going on. But you got to know the power of that lymphatic system. And that's why I'm glad I'm a lymphologist. And I help you understand cellular ecology through this radio show, through workshops, through events, joining that group, Lymphatic Cellular Wellness and the My Health Device. Yeah, join that group and step up to quantum health and healing. It's time for you to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care plan. And if you support the youngest in your family and in the community, when you write yours right, you want to give them the information to help them start building a better life. Health is a choice, because it's time to bury disease care and emancipate yourself from medical mental slavery. Don't let them doctors tell you anything because something happens to you. They want to shift your energy. Oh, you can believe that. Oh, you can buy into that. Oh, but you'll be right back here because we know something going to happen. Yes, the body is going to give off something. It's going to happen. But you don't have to ever believe and think that surgery and the pharmaceuticals are a part of it. You don't have to lose no organs and get nothing replaced. You in a major accident, you ain't got nothing to say. I can understand. They do what they do. They talk to your family members and somebody say they know where you are. And they say, this is what they would have done. And it might not have been. But that's okay. But if you can speak and you can tell them what to do, give yourself time and let your body heal, family, naturally, holistically, and energetically. So I want you to sit back and I want you to meditate on yourself, like that meditative music you heard early. Relax. Think about your life. Think about what you're doing and how you want things to continue the way they are because you got everything under control, or if you need to make that shift and somebody's not going to like it, that's not your concern. Your concern is yourself and taking care of yourself the best way that you can. So I want you to sit back and you're going to be by yourself for a minute. You're going to be listening to some commercials. You're going to listen to some music, and then Brother Jamal is going to play the clip from Bruce Lipton. So you're going to have 11.11. That's 11 minutes and 11 seconds for Bruce Lipton. He's going to play the commercials, which is about a minute apiece, listen to some music, and when it's all over with, we can come back and keep breathing together and talking together. So sit back, get ready to listen to some commercials that's going to step you up to quantum health and healing. Listen to some music, cause wall. Gotta get into that groove. And then you're going to hear that message from Bruce Lipton. And I want you to listen to it. And then you're going to come back and listen to it again, because it's a powerful thing in talking about telomeres and how people think about them and what they think they need to do to extend those telomeres. So Jamal, when you play that music, I know it's time for me to sit back and take a deep, deep breath.
Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation. 202-248-7749.
God is in control. I got Satan on my trail, but I'm singing all is well. He's attacking every day, but I'm watching while I pray. No matter the attack, I won't turn back, 'cause this means war. This means war. This means war. This means war. I bleed the blood. I bleed the blood. There's power in the blood. I bleed the blood. Healing in the blood.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for attending this Funk Family Farms traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving is a very special time of togetherness and a time to express our gratitude. And it was interesting because I was just reading in my dear friend Benjamin Franklin's edition of Poor Richard's Almanac. He has a whole insight into the nature of gratitude and how it affects our life. And I would really love to read this before we serve our Thanksgiving dinner. Whatever you're waiting for, be it peace of mind, contentment, health, it will surely come, but only when you are ready to receive it with openness and gratitude. Of all the characteristics needed for both a happy and morally decent life, none surpasses gratitude. Happiness and health are the just rewards for living in gratitude. Wow, I remember the first time I read that. I doubted that gratitude could give me health and happiness, but now I know differently. Igor, how sweet of you to remember my birthday. Listen, let me blow out the candles, make a wish, and then we'll have a party later. Ah, yes, another year would be wonderful. Well, you know what? That whole story that Ben Franklin told us about gratitude and health, well, it actually works. And now scientifically we know why. Because built into every one of our cells is the fountain of youth. What's the fountain of youth in the cell? Well, it's something called telomeres. Telomeres, they are special parts of the DNA. So when you open up the nucleus of the cell, the chromosomes come out, and there are 46 chromosomes, 23 from your mother and 23 from your father. But what is a chromosome? Well, what it is a sleeve of protein wrapped around a double helix of DNA. And the significance about this is the telomeres, as you can see in this picture of an X and Y chromosome, stained red are the telomeres at the ends of the chromosome. They're the ends of the DNA are. I say, so what is the telomere? It's extensions of DNA after the genes, meaning it's a part of the DNA that doesn't program anything. It's just extended DNA. I say, why would you have extended DNA at the end? And the answer is profoundly simple, and that is this. If you understand how the DNA is reproduced, first there's an enzyme that comes in when it's time to reproduce the DNA, and that enzyme is called a helicase. Remember, DNA is a helix, and a helicase, case means enzyme. It's an enzyme that breaks the helix. And so as the helicase moves down the DNA, it splits it into two separate strands. So as illustrated in this picture right here, the DNA of just one strand is one we're focusing on, and you can see where all the red little marks are in the DNA. That's where the gene programs are. But at the end of the DNA, there are different little marks, and this is where the telomere is. And I say, why should we have a telomere? At the ends of the DNA strand, at the very ends, are extensions of DNA. But these extensions don't program genes. These are just extra pieces of DNA. So as you can see in this illustration, the red part of the DNA, that's where the gene programs are. But at the very end, the green part on that DNA is the extra extensions called the telomeres. And I say, so okay, why do we have telomeres? Well, here's the most important reason of all. Because when the enzyme comes in that copies the DNA, called a polymerase, it's like a train that lands on the DNA as the tracks. And as the polymerase moves down the track, it leaves behind it in a wake a copy of the DNA that it was riding on. So as the train is moving down the DNA strand, it creates a duplicate piece of DNA behind it. This is how the DNA is reproduced. But the serious part is this. When the enzyme gets to the end of the strand, guess what? It cannot copy the piece of the DNA that it's sitting on, because the next move, that enzyme, that little train, will fall off the track. So why is it important? So as you see, when the polymerase enzyme lets go of the DNA, the new piece of DNA is shorter than the first copy. And I say, why is it relevant? Because every time the DNA is copied, the last little piece can't be copied. So every time it's copied, the DNA gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And then what will happen is, well, if you run out of the telomere portion, the next time you copy the DNA, you're going to cut off a piece of the gene. And that's when aging, disease, and depression begin, is when the DNA runs out of telomere. Well, at first it was thought the length of the telomere would determine how long you could live, because it determined how many times a cell could divide. A scientist back in the 1960s by the name of Leonard Hayflick did a calculation. He said if the telomere is so many units long and you lose a little piece every time the cell divides, how many times can the cell divide? I say, well, why is that important? Because we're specifically talking about the stem cells in our body that divide all the time, replacing the worn and broken out cells that die every day. So stem cells have to keep dividing, and their progeny contribute to the repair. But now there's a problem. How long can your stem cells last? And the simple reason is this: when the stem cells run out, at that point, we start to age very quickly, and that's when disease and depression are characteristic. So the whole point about this with Leonard Hayflick, he did a calculation. He said, if you count the number of cell divisions and look in the lifetime of an individual, guess what? An individual can live about 120 years. Wow, how convenient. That's about how long people live. So it was believed that our life, it was actually determined by the length of these telomeres. Well, something exciting happened. A woman scientist came into the picture by the name of Elizabeth Blackburn. And what did she see? She saw at the ends of the DNA where the telomeres are, there is an enzyme called telomerase. Telomerase is an enzyme that adds extensions to the telomere. So if the enzyme is working, the telomere can get longer and longer. I say, well, what would be the consequence of increasing the length of the telomere? And the answer, you can divide the cells on and on and on without running out of the DNA telomere. So what are those things that activate the telomerase? What are those things that inhibit the telomerase? Firstly, let's go over the things that actually stop the enzyme from working. These are the things that will cause you to prematurely age and start to express all the characteristics of disease and depression associated with aging. And I say, well, what are those things? Well, firstly, poor nutrition. Poor nutrition will cause the enzyme to cease functioning, and aging will occur much faster. And then it gets into things like childhood abuse and domestic violence and post-traumatic stress disorder. I say, why does that influence the enzyme? Well, think about it this way. When people are abused or when they're living in a world of violence, how much do they really want to live? There's a psychological underneath story going on. I don't want to be here. The violence, the stress, I don't want to be here. That's an unconscious belief, but guess what? That belief will stop the telomerase enzyme from working, and you'll die sooner according to the wish of that belief. And there are two very important factors that also will inhibit the enzyme. Number one is a loss of love, or actually not having any self-love. And the significance of that is without love, life is more a life of isolation. And that kind of isolation doesn't really encourage anybody to desire to live longer. So when you lose love or you're not having any self-love, we will shorten our lifespan. And then a most significant influence on the enzyme is not having any purpose. Just think what that means. You wake up in the morning with nothing to do, nowhere to go, and all of a sudden, what is the feedback? I don't have any reason to be here. Well, interesting enough, that belief in the biology of belief is the factor that can shut down the enzyme. And this is why, for example, why many people, upon retiring, have a very short lifespan after the retirement. Why? They lose their function. They lose their purpose in life. And the feedback of the nervous system is, well, I'm not doing anything. And therefore, unconsciously, that individual will cancel the enzyme and have a much shorter life. And then the positive things that will enhance your life, give you a much healthier, longer existence on this planet, are things that activate the enzyme. Good nutrition and exercise, of course, increase our health, and this will activate the enzyme because it says we're trying to stay healthy and alive. Happiness and gratitude. Now that's the big one. Happiness and gratitude means you love your life so much that you want more. So unconsciously, you will activate the enzyme to increase and enhance your life. This is also associated with a positive outlook, because if you have a positive outlook, that means you're looking toward a future. And again, feedback says then we're going to have to activate this enzyme to have that future. And the last two aspects that enhance the enzyme and give you long life are very important, and that is, again, having that self-love, appreciating yourself, which means I'm enjoying and appreciating my life experience. And when you're in love, that, of course, drives you to stay around even longer, and that will activate the enzyme. And lastly, and most importantly, is being in service, meaning you have something to do. And what the feedback of the system is says, I can't end now. I have to be here longer. I have something to do. And so being in service is one of the most important things to extend your telomeres and keep you around. And in conclusion, the information about telomeres and telomerase is very important because they represent the equivalent of a fountain of youth in every cell. And between your mind and your cells, the biology of belief reveals how your consciousness and your thoughts can extend your telomeres by activating telomerase when you appreciate life, when you have gratitude, and when you're looking for love and happiness on this planet. You get to activate this yourself.
That's why I be talking about conscious self-healthcare, making conscious self-healthcare moves. Mental observation view is essential for yourself. See, everybody's talking about that, and they're talking about stem cells, and you have that power within yourself to extend all that within your own body at any given time. But you got to stay in tune with it. You got to stay in flow with it. You can't make it a bumpy road, and keep going up and down and up and down. You have to know this for sure. And that's why I share what I share with you on every Wellness Wednesday, every talk I do anywhere, any workshop I do. I'm going to always be talking about self-care, self-love, self-respect, self-worth. When you have that for yourself, along with the self-assurance, everything goes smooth in your life. Yes, we will create cellular malfunctions, but we won't be floored by the cellular malfunctions. We'll know what we need to do to get back in control. And that's why I say come dance with me. You all know what tools I offer you, the Quantum Health and Healing with Ness. I can work with you around the world, anywhere. You heard the commercials. And that Max Pulse system let you know what's going on with your autonomic system, both sides of it, your stress level, what's going on with your arteries, so you can be in control, because they're not going to tell you anything to the last minute. So if you want to know what's going on without getting into a state of panic, I have these two tools that I can work with you, with your group, your network, your community, and your practice, whatever you offer, wellness seminars, we can come together. These tools cost a lot of money. I have them, and I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to help anyone step up out of the dark ages of disease care, stop living in disease stress, and move forward with their lives. You know, 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize in physics this year in medicine. Their discoveries of how cells sense and adapt to oxygen availability. That's why you got to have a lot of oxygen in your body. That's why it's important for you to deep breathe to help that lymphatic system, to know what's going on and be able to do its job and purify the body. We're going to share more with that with you next week. But I want to say, I have shared the oxygen information for more than 20 years of my life as a doctor of lymphologist, teaching cellular ecology. The formula is a 36-step process that simply states oxygen plus pumps plus cells plus electricity equals power. And it's about how much power you have because of how much oxygen in your body to help those cells and those telomeres and every part of every cell. Human power that helps create and align with the human body field, the field that you create through your organs, and that external field, the human body field, must match. No one vibrates like you. And each individual has a unique body field, and that's what we work with the Nest My Health System, your unique body field, to let you see what's going on. What the key information to becoming your own wellness doctor is: understanding the lymphatic system processes keep you in the driver's seat of your health care. This is why I say the name of the disease means nothing anymore. We create cellular malfunctions, not diseases. Understand that, family. The doctors need to say that so that they can get paid and know how to say what you have to work with other doctors. We create cellular malfunctions. It's good to know what system and what organs are in trouble, so we know exactly what to do holistically, energetically, naturally through our consciousness. If we don't have anything else, we have it in our states of consciousness. Having a disease name is an insight into the processes of cells, organs, and system functions. And that's why I ask you to come dance with me every Wellness Wednesday, to help you realize that, so that you can emancipate from medical mental slavery. So like our page on Facebook, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. We will be celebrating the 10th year in 2020, and we want to honor you, or somebody that you know that has done the work, that have shifted out of chronic disease, care, stress. So join the group, Lymphatic Cellular Wellness and Lymphosizing and the Nest My Health device. Join that group on Facebook and come on, become your own wellness doctor. So are you ready to step up to quantum health and healing with me? You know how to do it. Every Wellness Wednesday, you visit my website, consciousselfcare.com. Today is Wellness Wednesday, 10/9/2019. My partner, Brother Humam Abdul-Malik, he says, we are not our own enemy. We are not our own enemy. We must heal and deal with self-love. And that's why I be talking about self-love, self-care, and self-respect. So family, you got to respect yourself with self-love, self-care, and self-respect. I want to say to this in closing. I'm not sure of the time because we got started late. But I'm going to say, where the mind goes, the chi flows and the blood flows. The divine connection of the inner and the outer spiritual human being. The consciousness and the mind is the master of the biofield, the human body field. And energy is moved, and finally the flesh, the human body, and the blood catches up to the energetic vibration of your consciousness to life. So are you ready to become your wellness doctor? A conscious self-healthologist. I'm a healthologist, teaching yourself cellular ecology so that you may become your own conscious self-healthcare educator. So family, I want to thank you for coming to dance and breathe with me this Wellness Wednesday, sharing this broadcast with a friend, sharing my YouTube channel, Kate Davis F, so people can step back and step up. This is the healing frequency. And that's what we're talking about, you becoming your own wellness doctor. So thank you for tuning in, sharing this broadcast with a friend, honoring yourself, loving yourself, putting yourself first and foremost in your life. Don't give your power to nobody trying to tell you something. And whenever you fall down, get up, lift yourself up, give yourself a smile, hug yourself, and go to my website or go to my YouTube channel. It's going to set you straight. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Yes, because help, H-E-L-P, we got to help one another, family, as Dave Shirley says. Woo!
Let's help one another. All of my sisters and brothers Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, family, that was a great show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation Radio Show right here on Innerlight Radio. It was a pleasure having you tuning in. Now, you must tell a friend to tune in. And if you haven't called in and shared your wellness story, don't you think it's time that you help somebody with your wellness story? Call in, share your story, join the conversation. I'm Karen Khadijah Davis-Foulks, and I invite you to visit my website, ConsciousSelfCare.com. Or you can just go to the number 4, the word CELLLIFE.com. Leave me some information. I would love to talk with you. And once again, I look forward to you joining us next Wednesday right here on the Conscious Self Healthcare Radio Show. It's a conversation where we uplift each other, where we share our wellness stories so we can help someone move from disease care to conscious self-healthcare. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you next Wednesday.
It don't matter, what race, creed, or color. Everybody, we need each other. Wake up, everybody. Well, see, we need, wake up, everybody. We need, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Wake up, all your teachers. Start to teach a new way. They're the ones that suffer each and every day. Teach the children. Teach the babies. Teach the babies. Teach the children. Teach the children. Teach the babies. Teach the children.